Newport Police Chief Alex Lee is back in studio. Chief, how are you?
I'm great, Steve. How are you?
Doing well. So congratulations on the official swearing in.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great ceremony Monday night. We had a lot of our officers and their family members came to watch the ceremony. And after I was sworn in, the union members actually presented a gift to the previous interim chief, Barry Hunter, thanking him for his service over the last 6-7 months. And it was a really touching presentation.
That's awesome. That's good. So now the official swearing in. So what does that mean the last couple weeks? Because you weren't officially sworn in, but you were chief, but not chief, or what? How does this work?
So actually, there are two swearing-ins.
Okay.
There's the legal swearing-in, which happens behind the scene, and that happened actually a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And then what happened Monday night at the select board is more of a ceremonial swearing-in.
Gotcha. All right, that makes sense. I was like, how does this work? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it, but I saw the pictures online. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I like that stuff. I like that ceremonial aspect, kind of the passing of a torch.
Yes, and we do a similar ceremonial swearing in front of the select board for each of our new officers after they're hired, usually after they complete the police academy. Mm-hmm. We have them appear in front of the select board with their family there, and I swear them in, and then a loved one comes up and pins their badge on their uniform shirt, which is kind of an important symbolic event.
Now, the badge that you have, the chief badge, is that passed down, or do you get to keep that?
Yeah, they're both. There are chief badges that are passed down from one to the next, but then particularly when somebody retires, we'll try to present them with a retired chief's badge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to change the name tag, though.
Yeah, the name tag is on order.
So one of your first big things that you're going to have to do is the Bellyflop contest tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm nervous.
You should be. It's going to be 32, wind chill of 12.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, I was thinking I probably need to do some sort of, like swan dive, right? Try to make myself as big as possible so I get the biggest splash that I can.
Is that what you're going for, like big splash? Or are you going to, hold your body together to keep warm?
Well, in order to make it a good belly flop, I think the whole crowd has to, cringe and go, oh, that looks like it hurt.
So that's what you're doing, huh?
That's my plan.
So now I know you've called out your officers. Any takers yet?
I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right. And make sure you bring, obviously, change of clothes.
Of course, yeah. But, talk is cheap. It's who actually shows up that counts.
Anybody you'd like to specifically call out right now?
Yeah, I'd like to call out the fire chief, Steve Yanuzzi. a chief versus chief competition.
All right. You think that's going to happen?
I don't know. Maybe he's listening this morning.
So Winter Carnival kicked off this week, and obviously a lot of things happening. Tonight's the pageant and also the midnight skate. Ice is iffy at best. Parade is tomorrow. Any suggestions on the parade for motorists?
Yeah, so the parade is going to start at the high school. It's going to go to the health center. The walkers will be in front of the vehicles, so that'll help keep it a little bit compact. And we'll have officers at the traffic circle and down at the lights to maintain the orderly flow of traffic, but not anticipating any big issues.
Yep. And who's leading the parade? Have you decided yet?
Yeah, the school resource officer, Paul Baudette's going to lead the parade. Detective Marvin is going to have a booth out on the common. Oh. He's going to be cooking up some food for people and just doing a little bit of community engagement. So it's going to be a really fun day.
Nice. Very good. Is that with the police union, or is he doing that through the department, or how does that work?
Yeah, he's sort of double duty for the department. He's going to be trying to do a little recruiting. We have a little recruiting poster made up, and then the food is going to be kind of a union fundraiser for them.
Nice. Very cool. So, non-Winter Carnival related, but my wife has now been drafted
Yes.
For you guys, or
Yeah.
for the whole state. She's right.
Yeah, for all of New Hampshire law enforcement.
And she doesn't even know she's doing this yet. I threw her name in the hat yesterday, and so if she's listening right now, I know she's at work. She's in. So explain what she has to do for science.
Sure.
And for the safety of our citizens.
That's right. She's protecting our community through her volunteer work. So I teach a couple of different classes down at the New Hampshire Police Academy to new police recruits. And one of the classes that I teach down there is how to investigate and enforce DWI and how to do field sobriety tests. And field sobriety tests are based in science and research, and there are studies behind them. And so the officers have to conduct the tests in a very specific way in order to be admissible in court. They have to judge the results of the tests in a very specific way in order for those tests to be valid. And so when we teach the recruits this class, part of their training is that they have to practice conducting field sobriety tests and become proficient in conducting them. And no training in that regard is better than using a live drinker. So we've solicited for volunteers who will come down to the police academy and drink alcohol for science and help our recruits learn how to do field sobriety tests on a real live human being.
Okay. So now, yeah, and you were telling me that it's very scientific. So you do this much at this time and so on and so forth, right? So it's not like you're going to binge for an hour.
Oh, it's a very controlled environment.
Mm-hmm.
We control the pace at which our volunteers are consuming alcohol, and we monitor their blood alcohol level to make sure that they're right in the sweet spot of the recruits will be able to see some of the effects of impairment, but that the person is still safe.
Mm-hmm. Now, the field sobriety test, there's a whole litany of different things that you could do, or I know there's the eye thing. So what happens with your eyes?
Yeah, so there's a battery of 3 standardized tests that we teach the officers. And the first one, which you were referring to as the eye test, is called horizontal gaze nystagmus. And basically what that is when you're impaired by alcohol or certain types of other drugs, your eyes will involuntarily jerk when your vision is gazing off to the side. So, you may have seen on TV the officers are moving a pen or another stimulus back and forth, right and left in front of a person's face, all the way out to the side and back to the other side. And what the officer is looking for is whether or not, when the person's eyes are gazing out to the side, if they are involuntarily jerking. And the person who's being tested isn't even aware that their eyes are doing that, but it's visible.
I know that there's always the old wives' tales. Oh, drink Dentyne or Listerine or something, and
right.
That stuff is all hogwash.
Yeah, so like I said, these 3 standardized tests are backed by scientific studies, which show that if the person displays a certain minimum number of scientifically validated clues, that there's a very high likelihood, anywhere from 79 to 88% chance that the person is over a 0.08 blood alcohol concentration.
Now, some people at 0.08 completely functional. Other people at a 0.06 just appear sloshed. How does that work?
Yeah, well, every person has a different tolerance level when it comes to impairment. However, what the scientific research has shown is that at a 0.08, even people that may appear to you to be functional, or you don't notice sort of extreme signs of impairment visually in them, the science still shows that they have increased reaction time, poor judgment, impaired coordination. So they have an inability to divide their attention between multiple different tasks. So when a sober person is driving, they're able to divide their attention amongst all the different tasks of driving, watching for, dangerous situations out in front of them, using their hands on the steering wheel, using their feet on the brake pedal and the the gas, adjusting their radio or adjusting the heat, all of those different tasks that you have to do at the same time. When you've become impaired, even at the 0.08 level, your ability to divide your attention amongst multiple different tasks is reduced. So you focus your attention on just one of those tasks and you lose sight of other things that you need to do to drive safely. So just the fact that somebody's not falling over and, showing extreme signs of being impaired doesn't mean that their ability to drive a vehicle is not suffering from their alcohol consumption.
Now, I know you've been a police officer for many years. Have you seen a uptick, a downtick, a level for drunk driving?
Over the course of my career, we've actually seen a little bit of a downtick. When I used to be a state trooper, it was not uncommon on a Friday or Saturday night to have, multiple DWI arrests all in the booking room at the same time. That we don't see as much anymore. However, we have had an uptick in the number of fatal crashes in the state over the years, which that trend continues this year. And we see a very steady, about 40% of fatal crashes in the state of New Hampshire are caused by impairment.
Wow.
So, and that has not changed over time. So the number of fatalities due to impaired driving has gone up, and that's something that we're very concerned about.
I found it interesting over the years to learn the science of alcohol, where, men versus women, metabolisms, what a drink is. So, you can go to the bar and get a beer, but that's a 24-ounce beer, but it's actually 2 beers. Or if it's an imperial or whatever. So
yeah, that's exactly right. And that's something that we teach the recruits in the police academy is when they pull somebody over, they're likely to ask the person, how many drinks have you had? And the person may even, a lot of people obviously lie, but even if the person's being honest and they say, I had 2 drinks, well, two cans of Bud Light versus 2, 24-ounce double imperial IPAs are going to have vastly different quantities of alcohol. So the recruits are encouraged to dig deeper and find out, what the drinks were and how large they were and how long ago the person consumed them.
Or if it's a mixed drink, who knows what's in that?
Yeah. So in the class, we teach them that we call a drink that involves liquor. 1.5 ounce shot would be considered one drink. So if you order a mixed drink that has 2 or 3 different shots in it, that's equivalent of 2 or 3 drinks, even if it just comes in one glass.
Right. That's like having 3 beers at one time.
That's right.
Which is nuts.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the way that your body metabolizes alcohol, if you have 2 or 3 drinks all at one time in very quick succession, you will spike your blood alcohol concentration, and then after you hit a peak, then it goes down slowly over the course of several hours.
It's 8:25. I know you got to run in a couple minutes. Anything else last before you scoot? You got an 8:30 appointment, so I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, I'm actually headed over to Sullivan Superior Court to testify in a hearing. As I explained, I think last week or the week before, we made a series of high-profile arrests in November and December, and a lot of people think that once you make an arrest, the case is over and you move on to the next case. Well, the reality is that it's the arrest is really just the first inning of the game, and over the course of months and even a year, you have to continue to follow that case through the court process. So the work does not end there. So that's what I'm headed to do this morning. But it's been a busy week. We had the swearing in, and we had the first of the department budget meetings in front of the select board last night, which was a very productive and good discussion. And now we're just preparing to go into the busy Winter Carnival weekend.
Yep. Perfect. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be rooting for you. Hopefully the Bellyflop Contest doesn't happen at the same time I'm running the eating contest, because I do want to see you and everybody else, all the officers.
Yes.
Or Chief Unuzi.
Yes.
Whoever you can coax into doing this.
Very good.
All right, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Steve.